Well, welcome, fellow haunters. Well, I'm here with my wonderful assistant. No, not him. Him.
Hi, I'm David.
Yep,
my dad's son.
That's right. That's you. Okay. And we're going to show you how to make a interesting craft. It is this. There you go. Point at it, David. Gesture.
Right here.
That's right. This is a Witches Cauldron. And let's let David show you all the tools and things that we will need. Okay.
Okay, so first of all, you're going to need this. Any type of this lemonade container. You could probably buy these somewhere at a grocery store. And what you'll need to do, you'll need to take everything off. Like, you know, you see there's paper all around this, so you'll need to take it all off to make it completely white. Then what you'll need is you'll need these for the bottom of it to help it stand up. And once you tear off all of the paper off of this, you need to paint it with this, the paint for plastic, because it will stay on it better.
Very good.
Then what you'll need is something to cut it, like you know, cut the stuff off of this.
Okay.
Or I think you need to cut. You also need to cut the bottom off too.
Okay.
You're also going to need this for the glue gun here, hot glue gun. See, right here, these sticks right here.
Okay.
Now, I don't know why this pen is here. Okay, you'll need this and cut it out into a circle so it ends up looking like that.
Very cool.
Now you're wondering, why is this weird looking brown stick?
Yes, why is that there? Tell us about that, dude.
Yeah, the reason is because if I take this off, it's actually a sucker.
Cool. Well, why don't you show them that?
Okay, if I can get it off. Oh, wait, there. See? Ta-da! Wait. Ta-da!
Okay, and what's in there? We got some candy.
Now, this is old candy. Don't get it from us. No, I'm kidding. But this is really old candy. We'll get fresh candy during Halloween.
Okay, well, it's been sitting there for a while.
Yeah.
All right, so
Oh.
Thank you very much, David, for that interesting overview of all the stuff that we need to do. Now, let's get started. So, as my son said, we're going to start with a powdered drink container, which is, this one is Country Time. Looks like this. We take all of the wrappings off, and we end up with something like, David, thank you very much. Whoops, there we go. Something like this. So we take off the lid, we toss the lid at my son. Good catch. All right, awesome. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut right underneath the threads. What I'm going to use is a utility knife. David, can you hand me that, please? Thank you very much. And we're going to get started right there, right at the underneath the threads. I'm just going to push that through right there to start because it's hard to push through with the scissors. There we go. And then we're going to use the scissors. David? Thank you very much. And use the scissors to cut the rest of it off. You can use the utility knife, and I actually did the first few times I did this, but I found that this plastic cuts. It's so soft and it cuts so fast with the utility knife, excuse me, that what happens is the utility knife slips and either go right into your finger, which luckily it didn't do for me, or it cuts further into your container than you want it to do, which is what happened to me. So you're just going to cut this. I'm just going to cut this off with the scissors. It's interesting, you know, some of these containers have slightly thicker plastic than others, depending upon probably where they were manufactured or variances in the manufacturing. And this one seems to be thicker than most. There we go. Now, if you want to, you can clean up the edge, the rough edge here, with the utility knife. I'm going to do just a little bit of that. I'm not going to go through a lot of that because it's going to take a lot of time. But that's what you end up with. This looks like, you know, somewhat like a cauldron shape, like that. So now we're going to go ahead and add the feet. So, David, hand me the beads. Thank you. So what I got here is I got 3 little wooden beads. You can get these in any hobby store. These are 5/8 inch, but you know the size doesn't really matter. It's just whatever looks good here for feet. You can make them larger, you can make them smaller. And we're going to glue those on with the hot glue gun. Why don't you hand me that, David? Careful, it's hot. There we go.
Thanks.
You okay?
I'm fine.
All right. Did you burn yourself?
Oh my gosh, no.
Okay, that's good.
It's hot, so don't touch it.
All right, because if you burned yourself, just don't tell Mom. Okay, so we're going to go and we're going to put these on here and add these. We're going to put them, there's 3 of them, so we're going to put them on in a triangle pattern, obviously, and almost done. There we go. All right, and that will, we're going to let that harden up here for a minute, and then we're going to go on to the painting. All right, great. Okay, so now that the hot glue has hardened, it is, it doesn't take very long. We're going to go ahead and paint it. Now what I use this stuff. This is called Valspar Paint for Plastic. It's got a more aggressive solvent than regular. Oops, sorry, get rid of some of the hot glue strings there. Anyway, it's got a more aggressive solvent than regular paint, so it sticks to plastic better. For something like this, that's probably not a big deal, but I didn't want this paint to be easily scraped off. If you're going to use this for something, that's going to be sitting around on your desk, get banged around or something like that. All right, so we're going to spray paint this. Now, to spray paint something like this, you want to get it up off the table. You can use something like a piece of wood here, where you put it like that, put this on top of a piece of wood, but I know not everybody just has pieces of wood sitting around, so you can also use plastic cup, cheap disposable cup. Put it on over there like that. All right, so let's spray paint here. I'm going to go over here on the side, and I'm going to paint. You want to get down here at the bottom, make sure you get stuff down there at the bottom, and then turn this around. Get the top. Don't miss any of the parts of the beads. Lots of little nooks and crannies here where those beads are, so you want to make sure you get around on all sides. You will get some spray paint on your fingers, so make sure that if you don't want that to happen, that you maybe get some gloves, or you just wash it real good afterwards. Alright, I think I got it. Now if you're not used to using spray paint, you may have noticed how I was painting. It's just small squirts, sprays of paint. That's a good way to keep you from getting big drips and globs of paint on your craft. Just small, light coats. And if you have to go over it again, then you go over it again. But it's better than having big drips and ugly splotches on there, and it takes a lot less time to dry. All right, so let's let this dry. All right, paint's all dry. Now I'll be honest, I trimmed off some of the stuff that was up here, around left over from when I cut it out with the scissors. And after I turned it over, I noticed that some of this area up here had not been painted, so I painted it too. So if you notice that, it's not a mistake that is difficult to make. I made it, and just trim stuff off and paint it if you missed a spot. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add the top here. So I got this graphic. This is a graphic of, it looks sort of like bubbly water. I'll put a link to it in the comments here on the video. But I printed out here on a piece of cardstock. You can use paper. I use cardstock partly because I just had it and it's a little bit stiffer. And then we'll want to put our cauldron there and take a pen. See, David, this is what the pen is used for. And we'll trace around here. Like that. And then, once we got that trace, then let's go ahead and cut it out. And that will fit in top of our cauldron to make it look like a bubbling witch's brew. Now when it goes, when we cut this out, it will probably be just a little bit too large to fit on the inside of the cauldron, which is fine. What I suggest you do is you are making many of these. You cut out one and then trim it down to the right size, and then use that as a template for others. It's especially useful if you're making a bunch of these for, say, party favors, or like what we're going to do. We're going to make some of these for our special neighbors, our special trick-or-treaters who come around. How many trick-or-treaters do we get a year, David?
300.
300, that's right. So we're not making 300 of these. I don't have enough time to make 300 of these.
Yeah, we don't have enough.
Yep. And yes, we don't have enough materials. But we will probably make about a dozen for some of David's friends.
And at least 2 teachers, I think.
Oh, and a couple of teachers, that's true. Alright, I trimmed that down. Perfect. And it just goes right in. It goes right in there like that. Now, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a hole punch. See, if you want to have a stick sticking out of there, and David will tell you some of the things you can use for sticks. You take a hole punch a hole in there, and a little sucker like that. I colored the stick brown, and then you just pop this in like that, and there's your stick. Now, because there's no candy in there, it's going to fall through, but then you have a stick, like a stirring stick for a witch, and then if you want to take this out, just push it out like that. Alright, so David, why don't you put all the candy in there? Okay, so what we do is you stuff it with candy like this. Alright, and you stick the sucker stick through the hole, and then put the thing on there like that. Now, there we go, stuff it on down in there. There we go.
Thanks.
Now, alright, so tell me some of the other things that you came up with that you can use for a stick instead of a sucker.
You could use suckers, which we're using right now. Yeah, and you also have to color. You can color the stick brown if you want. You could use Twizzlers. Don't color them brown, or else it's gonna taste like marker. You could use pencils. Don't eat those. You can use markers. Yeah. You can use colored pencils and crayons and Smarties, like you know the Smarties that go in the tube. You know what I mean?
Like show them what Smartie is.
Yeah, like these right here. You don't use like one. You don't take it out and then use one. That does not look like a stick.
All right, well that's a good idea. You can use that as the stick. So, all right. So there we go. Ta-da! All right. So thank you very much, David. And let me come over here with my son. So anyway, that is how you make a witch's cauldron out of a powdered drink container. And like I always say, don't turn around. There might be something behind you. Happy haunting.